Welcome to the pod. You are listening to What the Reality with me, Cassia Roberts, and we are back with another Toxic Tuesday episode. Guys, we are talking all about Miss Taylor, Frankie, Paul, ABC, the Bachelorette being canceled. That literally holds up a good 50 minutes, I cannot lie. We're also going to talk about the Kandi and Todd divorce settlement and that Married to Medicine reunion part 1. Welcome to the pod. You're listening to What the Reality with me, Cassia Roberts, and we are back with another Toxic Tuesday episode. Today's episode is very toxic because what is going on in Utah? I could have sworn last Toxic Tuesday I started off my intro with what is going on in Utah. Like, what are the girls doing in Utah? And I'm still saying that this week. If you guys have been living under a rock, you've been missing the endless headlines that has been going on since Friday. I think it was nonstop Friday headlines, headline. Friday, Thursday, maybe we got the first headline. Taylor, Frankie, Paul, DV video seen for the first time. It was leaked from 2023. So if you guys remember Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, it debuted with a scandal with Taylor, Frankie, Paul being booked to jail. Her and Dakota had got into a DV dispute, and we just knew that something had happened with her daughter, which was leading to the custody battle with her ex, Tate. We knew that apparently something had hit her daughter in the midst of the fight. Production was put on hold. You guys remember it was like a black screen on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. It was kind of put on, not pause, but it was just like production had to pause, and it wasn't filming with Taylor for a minute. I feel like that was like one episode we didn't get her. So we were already meeting this girl, and I think this was like the second or third episode. We were already meeting this girl on the premises of Rah Rah, right? Fast forward, we apparently somehow moved past that. We never saw the video. So Thursday, 2023's DV video was leaked. And yeah, I'm going to play it for you guys. So this is a trigger warning for the people that have not been living on the internet. If you haven't been seeing the headlines come in nonstop, we're going to play the DV video. Obviously, you can Google it. This will just be audio for my listeners. Nothing really crazy or like alarming, but I do want to do a trigger warning just so you guys know. And this is the extended version, which is still up on Twitter. We're going to play. It's like a 3-minute video.
This is called... Yeah, look. Yeah, look. This is called physical abuse. Yeah. Yeah. See, Taylor, this is all you do. It's the only thing you know how to do is hurt me.
And she's currently like has him in a headlock right now.
This is okay? It's not okay. Holy
it's okay. I don't give a
Let me go. Stop.
She just tried to kick him.
Dude, leave me alone.
Now she's throwing bar stools, and her daughter's sitting on the couch.
Your daughter is right here. Oh my gosh. Oh my.
So she threw a bar stool, and it hit her daughter on the couch.
You stop throwing stuff and you.
And Taylor is still in a rage. She's not comforting her daughter.
Stop, Taylor. You're done. Taylor. That's it. That is it. No more. You're done.
It's just a black screen right now, but you can hear a lot of ruckus in the background.
I can hear this. This is your own thing. You're doing this to yourself. Stop. No. I'm done taking the blame for you.
You did this.
Help your daughter, Taylor.
Yes, Dakota.
Oh my gosh. If you throw another chair, are you okay? Taylor!
Get away from my daughter! Get away!
Help
Get away!
Stop doing this!
You threw me in the
Dude, think of your kids! Gosh!
You threw my daughter. You threw my kids.
I don't care. I love your kids.
Come on.
Yeah, I do. I freaking love them to death. No, yeah, I don't care. Look what you're doing to me. No, nobody deserves
Shut
it.
the up, Dakota.
You're not okay. You're drunk.
Go
God,
answer, Dakota.
I will. What? Gosh.
Shut the up.
Taylor, stop.
Shut up!
Stop. Oh my gosh.
And that's the cops that you hear.
Hammered.
So they were both under the influence. This is obviously from 2023, and the video credit obviously from TMZ. Who leaked the video? Dakota was recording the video, so it's giving he definitely gave it to TMZ. Now, the other side of the spectrum we're seeing is that this is all coming out. The Bachelorette was supposed to premiere on Sunday. You know, I record on Mondays. The Bachelorette did not premiere. You know, I was hoping to recap that first episode, at least talk about it. And it did not premiere because ABC has chosen to cancel The Bachelorette following this 2023 DV video leak to TMZ. And it is pretty clear that Dakota probably has something to do with this leak. Taylor has made the claim. She went on Good Morning America and made the claim about he ruins everything. Like, it seems as though everything is planned. Like I said, if this video is from 2023, this is from 3 years ago. This is from the first season of the Mormon Lives or whatever. It does seem as though like he knew when to drop this video right on the heels of a huge epic premiere for her for The Bachelorette. But like I said, they have canceled that. I don't know if it's going to be in the Lost Files, though. I really don't. I genuinely have a feeling that they're gonna still premiere the season. Maybe not now because it's just a lot of negative press surrounding her. But I don't know. I don't think they're gonna let this go. If this sits in the files, the same files as the Ultimate Girls Trip season 4, I will be so upset. I do think it's insane. Apparently ABC and the network has a lot of possible legal ongoing issues for them because of all the men that took off of work for this in the hopes of, you know, blowing up or, you know, possibly becoming the next Bachelor. Taylor possibly has a lawsuit against ABC apparently because there's just so much with the season not airing. And the thing is, what I'm also seeing is just kind of like Taylor clearly needs help. We can't say that she doesn't need help, but ABC clearly knew what they were signing on to. They were hoping Taylor Frankie Paul would boost the ratings. The Bachelorette ratings have been declining ever since. Bachelor Nation, no one's really been watching it. They knew exactly what they were doing by bringing Taylor Frankie Paul on. They knew her checkered history. And now that this video has gotten out, it's like all of a sudden we don't want anything to do with her. I see some really huge legal action coming up. I don't know from which parties, but I do have a feeling Taylor and even the boys have liable action just because you're canceling it with all of this negative press. I could understand delaying the premiere, but to really completely tear the premiere down is honestly insane. So we have that going on in Utah. Miranda and Layla are the only two people that I've seen that have spoken out in support of Dakota. And I use the term support loosely. They have essentially said that they do not stand for, DB. And that's all I'm going to say. So it's like, it not supported Dakota, but they're just like, we don't stand for DB. You know? I always get her name mixed up and I love her. Not Michaela. Is it Michaela? Maybe it is Michaela, the blonde. I don't know if it is Michaela. Oh my gosh, guys. It's like on the tip of my tongue. I think her name is Michaela. The blonde. I really like her. Macy. I get Macy and Michaela mixed up. Macy has said that Dakota has a habit of kind of like ruining everything for Taylor. So she has actually spoken out against Dakota in this whole situation. Bachelorette's closed as of now. Then we have another situation brewing in Utah. Apparently, Jordan has now filed for divorce. Oh, to add on to the Taylor and Dakota of it all, Dakota was granted a temporary he has temporary custody of her son Ever since the video has been leaked. It was also pictured Dakota and Taylor's ex-husband Tate seeking protective orders against Taylor. So that's that. Moving on to something else that's developing in Utah is this whole Jesse Jordan thing. So it looks like Jordan has beat her to kind of file he's beat her to file for divorce. So he filed for divorce Thursday after 5 years of marriage and 2 children together. The couple have separated before, but this time it seems a lot more serious, according to TMZ. Today, I just got a news alert. It's non-ending, you guys. Like, it's literally non-ending. It's non-ending what's going on in the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I have my own segment today based in Utah. Like, I'm already running 11 minutes into this. He has filed now a restraining order against her. So apparently, according to TMZ, according to court docs obtained by TMZ, Jordan filed the temporary restraining request Friday in his pending divorce case with Jesse, and she filed her opposition to the temporary restraining order the same day. No further details about the nature of the claims in the document are available. The U.S. Sun was first to report the news. And then if you guys did watch Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, which I urge everyone now to watch it, their production has been put on pause as well right now to kind of figure this out. A lot of the women do not want to film with Taylor. But if you've been watching it, another storyline of it all was that Jessie didn't know if she didn't have any witnesses to her prenup, which honestly makes no sense. Like, how do you not have witnesses to your prenup, right? It makes no sense. Like, how was it a prenup? How was it even signed if you had no witnesses? So it's looking like she could lose a lot of money. But the girls were saying, girl, you'll make that right back. So, yeah, he's beat her with that. And that is everything I'm thinking in Utah. I think that's everything that I had to speak about. Obviously, Taylor and Dakota both need help. The video was crazy AF. And yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with The Bachelorette. I think it would be honestly a mistake of them not to just air it at all, because the way they probably would have broke streaming devices and like the network and everything if they filmed it, like I just feel like, or if they premiered it, I just feel like it really would have been record breaking numbers, especially given the fact, but even some of the guys that were on her season are speaking out about like how unfair it is. And then some other guys are saying for the fact for them to be placed in these conditions to even film with her knowing that she has a temper is insane for the network to do in the first place. So we are going to be actually following this very closely, like I follow the Dr. Wendy and Eddie Osefo updates. We're going to be following this very much every Tuesday for updates, and I will keep you guys updated. But that's really the tea on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and Taylor Frankie Paul. That is why you've been seeing her name everywhere. And let's move on to something hilarious before we move into the other reality topics. There was pictures going around. I might insert the pictures on for my YouTubers. There were pictures going around of Marlo Hampton and Tyler Perry this past weekend, and I kid you not, AI is really tricking the folks. Like, I kind of knew it was AI, but I'm just kind of like, they looked really cozy. And I'm just like, dang, are they together? And so at last there was a video and she was holding on to his arm. So I was like, dang, are the pictures I just saw not like AI or whatever? They are not dating. It has been confirmed by Lauren LaRosa of The Breakfast Club. They are not dating. Was she holding on to his arm in a video though? You can't, I mean, the video They were definitely at the same event, and she was like holding on to his arm. So, however, the photos are AI. Let's just say that. The photos are AI. That is a good chuckle for you guys. Other news, Real Housewives of Miami has been put on pause. A lot of people think it has been canceled. It has been put on pause. There's been a lot of social media chatter around it. A lot of people are saying, like, how do you keep Beverly Hills but you cancel Miami? Larsa Pimpin has actually spoken out and said, you bring back Roni but you want to put Miami. I'm gonna just be real. Miami is very expensive to produce. It should have stayed on Peacock. It just looks more rich than the other cities. A lot of them, like the quality of the production. I remember when I first watched the reboot for Miami, I was like, oh, this is some different stuff. And I know Larsa Pimpin gets a lot of money from the show. Alexia Nipola. I would say they probably take a good chunk of the budget. I would definitely say that. So before there was even a pause, we had heard rumblings of who was on the chopping block, and apparently it was Gertie Julia. We're also hearing it was Adriana and Lisa. That's not shocking. I think Lisa also holds a good amount of the budget. And I don't know why you would cut Lisa. I like Lisa. But yeah, a lot of people are also bringing up how the Alexia and Todd situation is affecting it. As you guys know, Todd Nipola, his last name's not Nipola. I don't know his last name. I think he's a gringo, so he doesn't have like a Spanish last name, as the ladies call him, like gringos. He is like in the midst of suing production in NBC for his edit. So I don't know how much of that helped in the situation. I personally am not shocked it's on pause. I would like for it to come back though, because I do like Miami, but I do think they needed a cast shakeup. I don't know where Beverly Hills goes from this. I've heard really bad. I haven't heard bad things about um Beverly Hills. I haven't heard the best things though. A lot of people are over Beverly Hills, at least from a social media standpoint. A lot of people, Beverly Hills is not where it used to be, and I know for a fact Beverly Hills is also eating up at a lot of Bravo's um budget. And what are they doing? They're cutting these longtime housewives, like, they cut a lot of the New Jersey ladies. They probably talked to Teresa and Melissa, like, hey, when you do come back, because I do think they're both probably going to come back together, and especially now that they're on good terms. The budget's different. And you know what they'd rather do? They'd rather rework their budgets. The economy is affecting everyone, whether you're a millionaire or a working individual like myself. A lot of these companies, or not a lot of these productions, they're cutting the big stuff, and these housewives that require a lot and that take up a lot of the budget. They're like, I'd rather put you on pause for X amount. You need to humble yourself when you come back. Expect a pay decrease, because we got shows like Next Gen NYC working, VPR reboot working. Ooh, I was gonna say something else. I wonder what the salaries are like in Southern Charm. I really do. I don't watch that. We got Southern Hospitality. We have these newer, younger shows that are very hip, that don't really require so much of our budget. The Valley, Persian style, they're spinning off the Valley and making it that. They're spinning off Next Gen NYC. They're going to do a Next Gen LA. Next Gen NYC was amazing. Yeah, I think they're reworking their budget plans. I think Miami will be back. And Andy has definitely made it clear that this is strictly a pause, similar to Roni. Roni went on a pause. They're rebooting the reboot. Imagine that. I'm going to give it a try. I don't have high hopes for the Roni reboot. I don't know. I didn't have high hopes for the VPR reboot. I'm glad I gave it a chance, but I don't know. That is the latest with that. We got to talk about Kandi and Todd now while we're talking about Housewives. They did settle their divorce. That was a record-breaking amount of time to settle a divorce. They filed in November. They announced their divorce, their separation in November. 4 months later, the divorce went fully through. The only thing I'm seeing is that Kandi paid Todd one sum of $2 million, a one-time $2 million payment, and he has to leave her home. You know, that was her home before he moved in. There were rumors going around that he has full custody of the children. I do not believe that's true. Kandi has even went on social media in the comment section of some posts saying she was on something saying the lies, basically, that people were coming up with this, with like her whole divorce settlement. I don't think it's very much known with the custody arrangements, but I do know it has at least been presented as a fact that she did have to pay Todd a one-time $2 million settlement. That's that in terms of Kandi and Todd divorce settlement. Case is closed. You know, I was following that closely. If there's any other stuff, any updates, I'll definitely keep updating you about the Kandi and Todd of it all. But we were just following this divorce, the contentiousness of it, and I think it's honestly settled down. Usher and Justin Bieber apparently got into a heated fight at Beyonce and Jay-Z's after Oscars party. You know, they do it annual after the Oscars. I love how they don't show up to the Oscars, but every year people are at their after party for the Oscars. Like, I love that. You know, I'm a Beyonce stan. Imagine not going to the Oscars, but it's like, I will be at the after party for the Oscars that Beyonce and Jay-Z were not at the Oscars for, but they're hosting. Period. Pull up. Yeah, apparently there was a heated dispute. There's this AI photo going around of them in a dispute and Beyonce looking snatched. That is not a real photo. You guys, AI is like honestly insane. They got into a fight. We don't know what. That's also been sealed. There were rumors that Usher had called Hailey Bieber a racial slur. And I was just like, no, that was a rumor, you guys. We're debunking the rumors on what the reality, because that's the real tea. All we know is their relationship has been a little rocky. You know, Usher did do the 2023 Super Bowl performance and apparently had extended an invitation to Justin Bieber, and Justin Bieber politely declined. Usher talked about this on The Breakfast Club, saying how he declined, but like they'll have some other projects in the future. Obviously, we have the Diddy of it all happening right now. A lot of people are saying that Justin Bieber was groomed by Usher, and Usher was groomed by Diddy, all alleged. That is the talks on social media. So they're saying, is there any way this heated dispute has something to do with the Diddy of it all? That's a possibility. We're not here to speculate. I'm here to give my opinion, and I think the opinion is that it probably has something to do with the Diddy of it all. I think you would be insane not to think it doesn't have something to do with the Diddy of it all. I definitely think there's a possibility that, however, it's not factual. Moving on, because we're going to talk about Married to Medicine today. I'm not going to lie, the reunion didn't really keep me as fed. The men's segment, though, kept me fed, but I do want to talk about Justin Timberlake. Everyone's videos is literally getting leaked. So his 2024 DUI arrest was leaked. I'm not going to play it because, honestly, the video is just hilarious in itself. But, I don't think the cops did a good job at explaining how to walk in a straight line, and I'm sober myself watching it. But it is insane to watch him. The cop apparently did not know who Justin Timberlake was. He was like, because Justin Timberlake's like, I'm on tour. And he's like, tour for what? He's like, a world tour. Like, I don't know if the cop was just playing, but he was just like, a world tour for what? He's like, what are you? And then I don't know. Justin Timberlake apparently was following his friends home, but I guess he was swerving. He missed a couple of stop signs and red lights. And yeah, he eventually was pulled over. And he was given a sobriety test. He failed, and he was booked on DWI charges, driving while intoxicated. And apparently Justin Timberlake does not believe he is white. And you know what? I'm not going to lie. I love that for him. I love that for him. The guy was like, just make sure all your paperwork looks good. He looked at it and he was like, white? He's like, Like, he was like, I'm not white. Like, we all know Justin Timberlake is invited to the cookout, but boy, you is white. That was funny. He had to be in a holding cell. And yeah, do not drink while intoxicated. He says he wasn't even that intoxicated. He thought they were doing a little bit too much. Before we get into Married to Medicine, Southern Hospitality, expect a full reunion. I urge everyone to watch Southern Hospitality. I think it is a really good show. There's nothing to really talk about in this last episode. It was kind of like we know Mia, we're following like Mia, her boyfriend broke up. I think Mia is like one of the most gorgeous women ever. I don't know about that Maddie and Joe. I do think there's a part of her that misses Trevor, and it would be difficult for me to really, get on with my friend group if I'm like, dang, y'all really just lied on my relationship. But the thing is, like, Trevor has cheated on her in the past. He just didn't cheat on her this time. I don't know. I want to talk about Summer House because Ciara broke down in this last episode, and I felt like she was addressing me, even though I know she hasn't seen any of my stuff, but she possibly could have seen my TikTok video because the people are adding her in the comments. Why do people do that? Like, I did a video on Toya that also hit some numbers, and I saw some people adding Toya. Like, I just feel like that's so weird. Like, if it comes across their FYP, it comes across their FYP. But for the people that want to add the person, when it's like just check the hashtag, it's so weird to me. Like, this is public knowledge. It just gives snitch. Like, it's like, this is public information. It's not like my account's private. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm sure they can see the video if they type in their name. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I think it's so weird when people like add people because it's like you don't even know this person. It's different if you guys know those like TikTok stories of people like doing friend breakups or like, oh my gosh, I went on a trip to Miami with these 3 girls that were my friends. This happened. It's like you're talking about people you actually know, and then the people are adding their friends in the comments. That's different. If I'm like literally responding based on what I see and adding my opinion, why are you adding the person? It just gives snitch and tattletale. I don't like when people do that. Like, I'll never watch a slanderous video of Beyonce because first of all, I just won't. And then second of all, I just won't be adding Beyonce because like I don't, you know what I mean? But it's like different. I just think people do that to be messy. Like, if they come across a video, they come across the video. Not to add insult to injury, but it's like, I'm not the only one making videos like this on Ciara or Toya, Bush, Harris, who I will get into in our next segment. But I do think it's weird when I see like comments of people like adding the person I'm making commentary about as a reality TV watcher. I'm like, okay, like, are you besties with them? Like, I don't know. It's giving ops, and it's giving you can just keep scrolling. Add to the conversation. Don't be trying to like run. Like, is this a safe space? Can I talk shit and not have someone reporting on it? I guess not. Anyway, Ciara addressed a lot of the naysayers. I'm a naysayer because she says that she feels like it's going to become a thing when this episode comes out. She's bracing herself because they're like, you letting this white man play you again. She's so right. Like, she's so right. It is a thing and it's happening right now. We are watching Wes pretend to want Ciara again and Ciara fall for it. We know Wes does not want to be in a relationship with Ciara. We know that she is a hookup for him. We know he is still in his F-boy era. And surely I would think by now Ciara knows that. And that's why it's hard for me as a Black woman, as a woman, period, to connect with people like Ciara because I see someone that's constantly falling for the same stuff. So it's like, I don't really feel bad. I just really don't. She's like, you can't help who you love. That I agree with. You know, I think they're average looking, but I always say the person don't got to be cute to me. Do I think Ciara needs to be dating someone that's super hot? Yeah, because I just think hot people go together. But you know what? There's nothing to say. Two things can be true. You and Wes have amazing chemistry, but do I also think that you're not smart. I just don't think she is. And she just proves that time and time again, because it's like, well, this, we just know how it's going to end. I just don't understand why she just can't remain friends with them. Like, you can have good chemistry with someone and be like, that's just my friend. Like, maybe in a different lifetime. And I just, like, I wouldn't let people continuously play me. And the way Wes totally discounted y'all even having a relationship, the way he was so quick to be with these fangirls, like, you already kind of know his character, So it's kind of like, if you burn yourself again, you're going to burn yourself again. But she felt the type of way because she's like, the people are going to come for her. And it's so much difficult being a Black woman. And, they had a serious conversation, her, KJ, and Mia, with being a Black person on a predominantly white show. And I totally agreed with their whole, conversation, and basically what they were saying, how you do have to hold yourself to a higher standard. You can't really lash out. You can't afford to. Kyle is always able to lash out and go toe to toe with anyone and say whatever. And it's just that Kyle's a drunken B. You know what I mean? When it happens to Ciara throwing a wine glass at Danielle, it's, oh my gosh, you're an angry B. When it's like, I never thought it was, she never gave that for me. It was just always for me, like, why are you fighting over, what's his name? Austin. That didn't make sense to me. And I didn't understand why Danielle was fighting Lindsay's battles. But I just didn't understand why she was, like, so pressed over Austin. Because I'm like, Austin is playing both of y'all. But hindsight is 2020. Is that the saying? I don't know. That's the saying. I just feel like Ciara, I wish her well, I wish her well. I think she is a very nice person. I think she has more substance without Paige DeSorbo on the show. And I hope she makes the right decision. I'm not going to prejudge, but it's giving she's falling for Wes's trap. He's, like, touching her arm. I'm hoping she doesn't fall for it. I'm hoping she's just telling us, like, this is what I would have to go through again if I even consider or toy with the situation with Wes. And she's right. This is what you would have to go through again if you even fiddled with the idea of you and Wes getting back together. So I'm glad she acknowledges it. Deal with that information what you will. For me, it was like, when somebody shows me one hand, I kind of just take it as that. I don't know. I just think also a lot of people are just not secure with their person. I think a lot of people are not secure with their beings. And when you're not secure with your being, you will fall for anything. And I've just been taught that my whole life. I don't know if it could be her daddy issues, not really having an example of that, but we all go through, like, family traumas. So I don't even know if it is that, but then also she has mom issues as well. Her mom is constantly in a new relationship with a man, and she talks about building that up. So it definitely could be difficult for Ciara to have any example of what it comes to a sustainable relationship. I just don't understand. I do think she let Austin play her one too many times. Like, is just playing you, and you already know how this man is. I do think she let Wes play her one too many times. She had explicitly expressed that she did not want to sleep with him until they were exclusive, or there was some sort of deal on the table of, like, I'm just seeing you, you're just seeing me, aka exclusivity. And then she still slept with him, and then she felt bad at the reunion. She was amazing. She looked hot crying, but it's like, you're also, like, giving in on your morals. So it's like, yeah, you can be a pretty girl crying at the reunion because you told this guy that, hey, I don't want to do this because this is my morals, and you're constantly moving your morals. Ciara's always moving her morals for these average looking men. And that's okay if you're into average looking men. It's totally fine. But I do think as an audience, when she's, like, blaming us, at least, like, the Black people, for, like, coming down on her so hard, I'm like, girl, where is your accountability? Like, you're constantly in the same stuff. You're very male-centered. Your storylines always consist of men, and there's nothing else we really know about you. I would just urge Ciara to get more healed, but everything she said was factual. It was facts. It was literally basis on what we've seen. You're right. Once this does air, you are going to get a lot of heat. She's getting heat on social media because we don't understand how you don't see that Wes does not want a relationship. He saw Jesse trying to push up on his ex all of a sudden because he's never acknowledged you as his ex. Now he wants to portray boyfriend material when we all know he's still an F-boy. He has said he will never be able to commit right now. He's in this new era on Summer House, Bravo. He's still the new guy at Bravo. He's getting a lot of female attention, and one like amazing girl that seems to have all the qualities will never be enough for him because he's in this new era on Bravo where he's like getting a lot of female attention. I mean, hey, he might be getting male attention too. I just think she already knows how the story ends, so it's like for me to watch this play out again, it's like I don't care to watch it again. And that's what she was really talking about, is like she feels like she can't make a bad move. And I agree. It's very difficult for us to continue to stand with you and you to make a bad move again, because this wouldn't be the first time, Ciara. So I appreciate her vulnerability on Summer House. I'm still rooting for her. I'm still hoping she gets something added to that noggin. And I don't know, maybe just decenter men. But as soon as she starts like letting Wes in, I just see her like hoping that he's going to commit. And I just don't see Wes Wilson ever committing to Ciara Miller. So that was the latest episode of Summer House. It was like the biggest conversation, honestly, of Ciara breaking down, Wes all of a sudden wanting to be touchy-feely. And also Bailey and Carl make a lot of sense to me. I'm not going to lie. Bailey is terrible at flirting. Carl is terrible at flirting. They should just be together. And it kind of was giving like he's just like there to comfort her. She's there to comfort him. I think instead of, I can't even remember Australian guy because that's all they call him on Summer House. But like, I don't think he's, or Ben, I don't think he's like that interesting. Like, yeah, he's good looking, but I think Bailey needs something a lot more. And I don't know, I feel like Carl has the emotional maturity to really like be in a relationship with Bailey, especially given how much like trauma she has. But let's move on to Married to Medicine, the reunion, part 1. Honestly, I did watch it today and it wasn't that great just because I feel like we're constantly heading a dead horse when it comes to Dr. Simone, when it comes to Dr. Heavenly, when it comes to Dr. Jackie. What was the highlight of the episode was literally the husbands getting into it backstage. They're not even on stage yet. I appreciated Steve standing 10 toes down for his wife, Dr. Mimi, and honestly giving Eugene the business. But let's start honestly from the beginning. So Dr. Simone is walking in with a chip on her shoulder. Dr. Simone is upset because Dr. Jackie went on Watch Happens Live and did not outwardly defend her with the aggressive comment that Heavenly made. Here's the thing, and I'm going to talk about Potomac because when Stacey, because Kierna was going around saying Stacey was making microaggressions, saying that she's aggressive. And I was saying on TikTok, this was also another one that kind of did some numbers. I said there's nothing passive about Kierna's behavior towards Stacey. It's aggressive AF. I don't like when Black women try to say they're being microaggressed when they're not, when they're actually portraying these aggressions. It's one thing when it's being microaggressions. It's another thing when another Black person is calling you out on your BS. And you can't use that defense of like they're using microaggressions on me. Like you can. We're not talking about colorism though right now. We're talking about instances of these women's on the show. Kierna has been super aggressive with Stacey. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. And I'm not even the hugest Stacey fan. Also not the hugest, like, you know, the biggest Kierna fan. But I can recognize that Kierna has been super aggressive with Stacey on Real Housewives of Potomac for whatever reason. I don't know. And just like when I talk about Dr. Simone and Dr. Heavenly when it comes to Married to Medicine, Heavenly has been aggressive. That is Heavenly's middle name. But Simone has just as much been aggressive. And I will maintain when Heavenly was going in. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, guys. Wi-Fi issues. Sometimes I swear, I think it's because it's snowing. Yes, it's snowing again. Ill. Okay, I will maintain that when Dr. Heavenly was going over, it was Angel Scrub's event. She was going over to hug, or they was trying to get a photo. She was putting her arm around Simone. Simone, the way she snatched, like the way she shoved her arm, she was like, please. Like it had some aggression. It was just a very spicy, let's say that. It was spicy. It was a very spicy movement. And I too would be thrown off. I'd be like, girl. And I do think the only reason the ladies are really trying Dr. Heavenly, they want her to blow up. She wanted it to kind of be oh, let's buck up our chest moment, is because she's running for office. None of the ladies support her on office. At least the left side of the couch doesn't. And honestly, Dr. Heavenly is doing some, like, let's put the show aside, because at the end of the day, we're all here to perform for a job, right? In terms of politics, and when it comes to in Atlanta, Georgia, from what I've heard, Dr. Heavenly is standing with the right side, and she is also standing with the doctors as well. And I think for the ladies to be so miserable in their beings, and especially Toya, because she has nothing else going on, that it's like you can't put that aside to be like, okay, regardless of what we got going on the show, like I respect Dr. Contessa saying, regardless of what has happened on the show, I know you are standing with the right stuff, and I genuinely do want to see you go far in this election race. It doesn't mean you have to win, but it's like, just to see you go far, I think I would respect with them a lot more. I do think Dr. Simone was very aggressive in that action. Unhinged, I don't know, where there's some strong words. Do I think she is, a threat? No. But was she being aggressive? Yes. And all of a sudden now Dr. Simone wants to maintain that those sort of claims, and Dr. Jackie honestly not having her back has really threatened her career. When my thing is, we've seen you constantly be aggressive. You literally tried to fight Quad last reunion. Like, you tried to fight Quad. Dr. Simone and Dr. Heavenly both have a history of being aggressive, and that's what it is. So Dr. Simone was already on one. She's holding Dr. Jackie up here. I also think there's a part of Dr. Jackie that just does not, quite frankly, enjoy her friendship with Simone as much. I don't think Dr. Heavenly makes her choose between them, but Dr. Simone is quite always making Dr. Jackie pick a side. And I'm like, at 60 years old, if you're questioning your friend taking a side, maybe you should put them in a different column. If you need someone to be blindfully loyal to you, that's why you keep a Toya around. And then if you need someone to be real with you, I'm not getting involved, you both are my friends, that's when you keep a Dr. Jackie around. I think Dr. Jackie thinks they're genuinely both wrong, and she don't want to be in the mix. Was the action aggressive? Yes. Are you a threat? No. And maybe that's what she was looking for on Watch Robin's Live. I don't know. She's really upset with Dr. Jackie, though. And yeah, so I think one of the biggest revelations out of the reunion was seeing Toya's reaction to her cussing out Eugene. That was another TikTok video I made, and it got a lot of hits, and the naysayers were adding Toya. Thank you very much. So I don't know if she's seen it or not, but y'all are weird for that. I just have to repeat that. But Toya says she was horrified with seeing it, because it was horrifying the way she cussed him out. And I think ever since that moment, they probably had an on-screen, off-screen talk. And that is why Eugene has been in everyone's business lately, especially the women's business. But yeah, Toya says she should not have reacted to that way. And somehow she is boomerang this whole thing, the boomerang effect, and has brought it back to the group and saying, if these were real friends, though. And Dr. Contessa hopped in too. I don't know why she hopped in. I just felt like that was not necessary. She was like, well, us as friends, we should have been there for her. What does you screaming at your husband have to do with me? You're lashing out. You're clearly off that tequila. You're tequila Toya. What do you embarrassing yourself and your husband have to do with me as a friend being there for you, besides saying you look a fool? In Toya's defense, she said, with love, my friends should have been like, you're doing too much. And Quad was like, we all did do that. And then, of course, she points the blame to Dr. Mimi. I don't know what her tea is with Dr. Mimi. We know what it is with Heavenly, but she said Dr. Mimi was being basically like ragging on her marriage. And Dr. Mimi asked them to roll the tapes back, and Toya looked a fool because she said, you asked us, what would you do to get his attention? And she said, lean into your femininity. And that's how you would get his attention. And she was like, well, you're just giving me advice. I didn't ask for it. She's like, no, roll the tapes back. You asked for it. And she did ask for it. Case solved. I really do think Toya is jealous of Dr. Mimi and Steve. I think she is attracted to Steve on some level. And I will continue to say this, that Eugene is not her dream man, but Toya is Eugene's dream girl. She's constantly making comments about how little his pee is. She is talking about getting happy endings at spas. She is not physically attracted to Eugene, and she is assuming her role as a house/trophy wife. And I think she looks at Mimi and Steve as like, oh my gosh, they kind of have it all. But I don't know. I think she's very much intimidated by Dr. Mimi, especially because Dr. Mimi won't kind of just like bow down to her. I do like Dr. Mimi, but I do think two things can be true. I do think she psychoanalyzes her friendships, or psychoanalyzes her friends. Like, I would kind of be sick of having a friend like that. That's constantly like, you're not asking them for advice all the time, or like you're not necessarily, I don't like, sometimes you don't always need a solution. Sometimes you just want to complain. And sometimes you don't want to always, like, sometimes you just want to key. I feel like sometimes Mimi does like try to educate and school her friends too much on like, well, this is how you effectively communicate. Well, this is what I would do. And this is how you have a better relationship. Like, sometimes we just want to talk crap and have a key. Like, everything doesn't have to be so serious. I find joys in friendship of laughter. Everything doesn't have to be like, well, like everything doesn't have to be so serious all the time. Obviously we're all working towards something in life, in our goals. God forbid knows I talk about that enough with myself, but when I get with my friends, I don't want them to psychoanalyze everything I do all the time and tell me, you could do this better. Oh, we could be doing this. You could be doing this to have a healthier relationship. Maybe you talking to him. Like, it's just like, sometimes you just want your friend to be like, girl, that is crazy. Sometimes that's all I have to say to my friends, like, that is crazy, and just listen. And, you just think that stuff in your head, but you don't have to. I think Dr. Mimi does do a lot with that advice. I would say that. However, I think Dr. Mimi means all the good intentions, and she even acknowledges that. She was like, I do not want to be a psychiatrist in my friendships. I have to be one all day at work. And then, she's always on, taking care of his kid with special needs. And then, like, to come to a friend group, and constantly having to basically, diffuse situations. She is sick of it. So, I don't know. I think that was very big for her to kind of, admit. And I think she will come in next season with just a listening ear and maybe just a good kiki, not really always trying to solve something for someone or solve someone. Sometimes we don't want to solve people. Sometimes you just want to live, So Quad talks about her breakup with King, and I think Quad is really good at keeping things very respectful. And unfortunately, the ladies are not. We did learn that Toya, Simone, and it seems as though Contessa are in talks with with Herc. That's what I got from that segment, because Contessa knew that he wanted to come, but that he wasn't invited. And obviously, there were just photos published on social media the other day of King with Eugene, Toya, and Dr. Simone. And I hope Quad does not take the bait next season. I hope she pays them dust, because they are clinging on to King like it's their last. I think it is so bizarre that someone on the show, your friend, brings on someone they're dating, they break up, and the people on the show are still talking to him. I think it's so weird. Like, yeah, you form a friendship, but we need to start treating stuff like it is wags. Okay, there is levels to this. There is wives and there are girlfriends. The wives, for the wag player, for the professional athletes, they don't get too close to the girlfriends because they know it's a rotating door. The wives, they need to start treating Married to Medicine like a wives, okay? Because we got a lot of single women on the show. We don't. We just have Quad single. Why are you still cool with XYZ? Like, you know what I mean? It's different with Dr. Greg. Like, y'all can still talk to Dr. Greg, but he don't need to be on the show. You know, you didn't need to befriend his new wife. And it's just like, I see them doing the same thing to Quad. And then you wonder why Quad doesn't hang out with you when you're not filming. You wonder why Quad treats it like a job, because it is a job, because it's like, you're hanging out with my ex. I think it's weird. I think it's weird that Toya got her son, who was 16 years old, in Ashton Martin. His name is obviously Ashton. I do love his name. But is that not, like, totally absurd? I'm assuming it's a lease. There's no way they bought him an Ashton Martin. There is no way. But she kept it very respectful. Quad did, when talking about the breakup. She just said it didn't work out. She said it started out really good. And, you know, towards the end, they just weren't really catering towards the relationship. And I think Dr. Simone asked a very good question of, like, if you guys can even agree on, you know, where to live or marriage, why would you even go through the IVF process? And Quad was very real. She said he's a good co-parent. So I think she even had it as if, like, you know, if it doesn't work out, at least I know he's a good co-parent. We don't know what's next for Quad. I'm assuming we will see very soon, but she did allude to possibly doing this process alone, and I think she should. You know, she has enough money, and yeah, I hope she is able to have her baby, but I do think she was very respectful. Apparently, King did want to come to the reunion because he said there's two sides to every story, but the thing is like, there's nothing to really else say. She's kept it very respectful. She's not slandering your name. What do you need to come to the reunion for? So that kind of makes me think he is a little thirsty for camera time. If it's like, what do you need to clear your name for? I swear, guys, if he goes on Instagram Live, I'm going to be like gobsmacked, but not really. Moving on, what else happened? So Brandy and Angel come out. Angel, gorgeous woman. Brandy and Contessa kind of talk about, in the beginning of the season, Contessa was planning, obviously, her big 50th, and she was really upset that Scott hadn't really, like, helped out or really wanted to plan anything for her. So in turn, she took that out on Brandy, who was celebrated by her husband, you know, paying for dinner for the ladies. But apparently the restaurant wasn't upscale at all. It was in a strip mall. So it's like, girl, why are you even going off? I think it was even a gesture that, like, probably, like, set her off. So she is talking, she actually apologized to Brandy about how it came off, because Brandy was like, they had talked, but she didn't nearly see everything that she was saying. So until it played out, Contessa did apologize, but I will maintain that Contessa was doing a lot. I think she was really in her feelings, and I think she's kind of settled in her relationship. I think, Contessa, you're never going to look hotter. Like, literally, she's aging with time. Like, she's just like fine wine. What's the saying? Fine wine, aging with time. She looks amazing. If you're not happy with Scott, you need to leave, because apparently in the last part, I'm so glad Married2Med is only doing 2 parts, because, like, what are we really talking about? Like, there's only a couple of stuff we need to really talk about. A lot of reunions need to go back down to 2 parts. But if we're being so for real, apparently Brandy presses her again, like, the next episode. She's like, you have complained about Scott multiple times. And it's like, Contessa will confide in her friends about complaining about this man multiple times, and then she'll try to backtrack it like their relationship's 100%. And the girls are like, girl, you were constantly talking and dogging your husband. Let's move on to who's getting dogged out backstage. So Eugene and Steve are not in a good place, because Steve still feels a type of way that, you know, he was charged, given the fact that him and Dr. Mimi were seated at Jackie's table. And I will say, Steve had told them a heads up, I'm not chipping in for anything. Keep in mind, Steve and Dr. Mimi did contribute last year $5,000 to a gift. It wasn't even a gift to be given $5,000 for, but it was for charity, right? This season, they come into the Met Gala and they are stopped at the front door because they don't have tickets. It was not communicated allegedly that they needed tickets, especially if you're already being seated at someone's table. Why do you need tickets if you're already being sat at someone's table? If someone has paid for the whole table, surely they have paid for those seats. What seats are we paying for? We're paying for Toya and Eugene's refund because they didn't overspend on the budget and they looking for some money back with these ticket sales. That is what they're looking for. They are pocketing the ticket sales, in my humble opinion. So Eugene and Steve get into it backstage. Eugene is like, "Why did you come?" And then I really wish Steve would have been like, "Well, why did you come all those years if you was only contributing wine?" We came because it was for a good cause. And I'm so glad Steve is not the one. You can tell he's not the one. He said we came because it was for a good cause. And then also, we came because it is a part of the show. We can't not come just because I'm not contributing money this year when you haven't contributed the past 3 Med galas. What? So they get into it, and Steve tells him, "You are acting like a woman." He says, "You tolerate bad behavior all the time from Toya." And Curtis adds to the conversation and says, he's not going to fess up to anything. They get honestly into a heated exchange. Eugene does ultimately end up apologizing because I think Steve was getting into that behind. But I'm really looking forward to the male segment because I think Steve's not the one, and I don't think he played about Mimi. And I think Eugene has been getting involved in a lot of women's business this season. I think he holds Toya to no accountability, and I think that's why she walks all over him. I think it's honestly crazy, and I'm looking forward to the men's segment on Married to Medicine. Like, that is what I'm looking forward to. Let's close it out with Dr. Simone being upset that Jackie did not defend her on Watch What Happens Live. So we're getting back to that because we close it out because Dr. Simone is claiming that she does not want to be friends with Dr. Jackie ever again. And it's honestly giving the most. I'm just like, girl, is it really that deep? She thinks that her character was being questioned on Watch Women's Live, and obviously, like I was talking about in the beginning, like this is obviously like getting in the way of her work. I don't know. I just feel like Dr. Simone needs to grow up. I think she's very manipulative, and to cry to Jackie saying, "I don't want this." And Jackie is genuinely trying to fix the relationship. She's like, "Honestly, I was playing the fence. Like, I should have probably said something." But for you to sit up there and say, "I don't want to be your friend anymore," I think Dr. Simone I think she really just wants to be picked. I don't think she's picked at home. I think she's last at home, and it's sad. And I think she's last in this friendship. And if you're going to let Dr. Heavenly get in the way of that, I just think it's beyond me. The only thing I can really imagine is like, did this honestly affect her business? Because it is giving. This has probably affected her business in some shape or form. I do think she's genuinely affected. It has to affect the business. I don't know. The next part looks really good. We get more into the Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone involved. But if I'm being honest, guys, I'm kind of tired of it. When I tell you the highlight of this reunion episode was the men getting into it. But I am kind of tired of like Dr. Simone leveraging her tears for Dr. Jackie to pick her. And I think we all kind of see it. It's just like, girl, okay, I screwed up. I should have said you were not a threat. But it's like, at the end of the day, I want Dr. Jackie to be like, "You're right. You were not a threat, but you were aggressive in that moment. I watched the playback. You were really aggressive. She wasn't trying to start anything with you. They were all trying to get a picture together, and you turned it up extra notches." Like, is that the facts or is that not the facts? I think that Dr. Simone and Toya are professional victims. I do not like them. I do not like them. Yikes, I did not like them. But yeah, that was your part 1 of Married to Medicine reunion. What did you guys think? This was your Toxic Tuesday episode. We spent a good amount of the show today on the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives because the amount of headlines coming in. I also had a headline coming. I did want to talk about very briefly Savannah Gerthy. I haven't really talked about that or followed that, but she is returning to Good Morning America. And it's honestly so tragic that what has happened. She never, 7 weeks, I think it's been 8 weeks now, she still has not found her mom. Her mom has been missing since January, this is her mom. Her mom has been missing. This is a 70-year-old woman. There's been frequent updates with TMZ, finding ransom notes and everything, but she is expected to return to Good Morning America. And I don't know if there will be any good news on that. There's no what's the reality this week on what the reality, because I don't know what topic I want to do next, you guys. I do not know. We have the Real Housewives of Atlanta premiering in 2 weeks. We'll be getting back to those recaps, and we're going to be attempting Rhode Island recaps if it's worth my time. I've been watching Schitt's Creek, and I just thought it was only fitting I close out this episode with warmest regards, best wishes. But until the next time, I will see you guys later.